In a world that values noise over depth, many shout about what they will become. Few quietly build and become it. This video, Let Success Be Your Voice, Not Your Words, is a gentle call back to stillness, to action without announcement, to quiet creation with loud outcomes. Inspired by the wisdom of Henry David Thoreau, we'll explore 5 truths that remind you it's not what you say but what you show through the life you live, the work you create, and the results you deliver. Let's begin. 1. Speak less, build more. Words are often the easiest way to earn attention, but they rarely lead to transformation. In a world addicted to declarations, the ones who actually build something meaningful often say the least. Why? Because they understand that the work itself should be the loudest thing about them. When you speak too much about your dreams, you unintentionally satisfy your desire for progress with praise, rather than with real tangible effort. The moment you share a goal with others and receive encouragement or admiration, your brain feels a false sense of accomplishment. That satisfaction can become a substitute for the grind, the quiet hours, and the deep focus required to bring something real into the world. This is why true builders, the ones whose creations outlive them, move in silence. They understand that energy spent on talking could be better used for creating. Henry David Thoreau believed in deliberate living. He retreated to Walden Pond, not to tell people what he was doing, but to live it fully. Similarly, when you dedicate your energy toward your craft instead of the conversation around it, you are choosing the difficult but meaningful path of growth. You are becoming something real brick by brick, day by day. Building in silence also helps you maintain clarity. The fewer people you answer to, the more focused you remain on your own vision. Without outside noise, distractions, or validation seeking, your intention stays pure. You become more disciplined, more aware, and more connected to the process. Let your actions be louder than your promises. Let your consistency earn more attention than your announcements ever could. Speak less, not because you have nothing to say, but because you're too busy becoming. And when you do speak, let it be from a place of experience, not expectation. When you finally do succeed, and you will, it will not be a surprise. It will be the logical result of everything you've done quietly, and it will echo farther than any word you've ever spoken. So build, daily, quietly, unapologetically. Let your focus become your legacy. 2. Success doesn't need explaining. Success that's real does not require explanation. It does not shout for attention or plead for acceptance. It stands quietly, grounded and certain, because it is built on effort, not approval. When your success is authentic, others feel it. They may not understand every step of your journey, but they cannot deny the strength of what you've created. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "Say what you have to say, not what you ought. Any truth is better than make-believe." His words remind us that lived truth holds far more weight than spoken intentions. When you live with integrity, your results reveal your truth, and that truth doesn't need decoration. It simply exists. Many people feel the need to explain their success because they are unsure of it themselves. They seek validation, not because their work is incomplete, but because they doubt its worth without approval. But when your work is rooted in purpose, when you know the path you've walked and the sacrifices you've made, there's no need to justify anything. The world may question your process, your timing, your silence, but it cannot question your results. When something is real, it speaks in a language beyond defense. It is self-evident, like the sun rising each morning, needing no fanfare, only presence. Explaining too much can even weaken your message. It turns confidence into debate. It shifts attention from the outcome to the opinion of others. And opinions are fleeting. Let your results be permanent. Let them be so clear, so complete, that they silence every question before it's even asked. Living this way takes strength. It means trusting your journey even when others don't see the full picture. It means knowing that clarity doesn't come from approval. It comes from alignment, from knowing your work, your values, your direction. So walk forward without the need to explain. Let your consistency speak. Let your peace speak. Let your growth speak. The truth always finds its way through. Success is not proven by words, it is proven by presence. Be so rooted in your journey that you don't have to tell anyone how far you've come, they'll see it. And that will say more than words ever could. 3. Let your work enter the room before you do. There's a powerful truth about silent success. It builds a name before the person even arrives. The idea that your reputation should enter a room before you do isn't about arrogance, but alignment. It's about doing work so honest, so consistent, that the weight of what you've built speaks before you even open your mouth. We live in an age of performance. People walk into spaces trying to prove who they are through what they wear, what they say, or how loudly they enter. But the real achievers, the ones who earn lasting respect, don't need a stage to be seen. Their work precedes them. Their legacy moves ahead of them like a quiet wave of recognition. Henry David Thoreau didn't chase audiences. He pursued truth. He believed in the deep value of living deliberately, of making your actions your statement. When you adopt that same posture, your life becomes the introduction. The way you build, the way you lead, the way you serve, it all adds up to a presence that cannot be faked. Letting your work lead means you value depth over drama. You don't need to oversell yourself because the results of your consistency already command attention. People will talk about the things you've done long before they ever meet you, and when they do meet you, they'll already know your worth. This approach isn't passive, it's powerful. It means staying focused on the mission, not the recognition. It means understanding that real excellence doesn't need to scream, it simply shows up. A silent achiever isn't silent because they lack confidence, but because they have already proven themselves where it counts. There is strength in understatement, in being so good, so reliable, so valuable, that your name arrives ahead of your presence. That is the kind of presence you want to carry, the kind that's earned, not announced. So build something that speaks for you. Create work that enters rooms you haven't walked into yet. Let your results be your reputation. And when you do arrive, let people recognize the quiet force behind the excellence they've already heard about. 4. Protect your energy from empty praise. Praise can feel like progress, but it's often a distraction dressed as reward. When someone compliments your early steps, it's easy to think you've already arrived. But the truth is, praise received too soon can quietly erode your focus. It can make you chase attention instead of mastery. And once that shift happens, you begin performing rather than building. Henry David Thoreau lived a life detached from public noise because he understood the danger of borrowed motivation. He believed in finding meaning in the work itself, not in applause for doing it. That's the path of the silent achiever, the one who guards their process from shallow recognition, because they know that applause isn't progress, and that cheers can fade faster than discipline is built. When you grow dependent on being praised, you shape your work around validation. You start to ask, will people like this, instead of, is this true to what I stand for? Over time, you trade authenticity for approval. Your craft becomes fragile, easily swayed by public opinion. But when you work without needing the crowd, you're free. You protect your focus, your rhythm, and your reasons. There's also a cost to constant exposure. When you reveal too much too soon, you invite judgment before your ideas are fully formed. Praise may lift you temporarily, but criticism can crush you prematurely. That's why the strongest builders operate in quiet phases. They don't need to be seen, they need to be ready. And readiness comes from discipline, not applause. Every moment spent soaking in praise is a moment not spent sharpening your skills. There is nothing wrong with being appreciated, but when praise becomes the goal, you stop growing. Progress becomes public, and public growth is fragile. Protecting your energy means staying close to your process. It means creating in silence, refining without fanfare, and releasing only when it's time. It means building for purpose, not praise, because the person who doesn't need applause is the one who is unstoppable. They move from within, not from attention. Let your success speak, not the claps, not the comments, not the quick likes. Build something that still stands when the noise dies down. That's the only kind of praise worth having, the kind that comes from real progress, not from empty noise. 5. Legacy is louder than noise. Noise demands attention. Legacy earns it. In today's world, being loud often gets confused with being important. Social media rewards visibility more than value, but while noise can grab a moment, it rarely sustains one. Legacy, on the other hand, isn't built in moments. It's built over time, slowly, quietly, authentically. The people who shout the loudest about their achievements often fade just as fast. But those who dedicate themselves to truth, to service, and to excellence, they leave echoes that last generations. Their legacy is not just what they did, it's how they lived, how they made others feel, and how their presence changed the space they were in. Henry David Thoreau was not a man of noise. He was a man of substance. He believed in walking deliberately, living truthfully, and creating quietly. His legacy wasn't built through viral moments. It was crafted through a life of purpose. His writings, actions, and choices continue to influence lives long after he's gone. When you let your life speak instead of your voice, something extraordinary happens. You become remembered not for how loud you were, but for how true you were. Your work carries weight. Your silence becomes strength. Your impact outlasts your presence. Legacy is built when you choose the long game, when you pour yourself into something bigger than ego, when you invest in people, in purpose, in ideas that matter. And you do so not because it will get you noticed, but because it's the right thing to do. The builders of legacy are not focused on being heard today, they are focused on being useful always. Their lives become examples, their work becomes a compass, their values become seeds that grow long after they're gone. If you want to be remembered, don't just make noise, make meaning. Let your discipline, your vision, your quiet excellence be the story that others tell about you. Let your life become the proof, not of what you said, but of what you did, who you helped, and how deeply you cared. Noise fades, legacy stays. Choose to build something that will still matter when the applause stops, because that's where true greatness lives, not in the volume of your voice, but in the echo of your actions. If this message resonated, it's time to walk the quiet path. Let your actions speak so loudly, you never need to. Subscribe to Echo of Legends for timeless wisdom to guide your quiet rise. Walk soft, build deep, let success speak.